broke up because he cheated on me. In my head.
I don't know. Maybe I'm being superficial. Maybe I'm just being weird. But
kindness toward each other is fundamentally the most important variable.
It's kind of interesting, isn't it?
Dating.
Insane.
This is Dating Insanity, where we're trying to keep our sanity in our search for love. I'm Jen, your hostess, and with me is my co-host extraordinaire, Steve. Hey, Steve.
hey, how you doing? It's been a long time. We haven't recorded together in ages.
Oh, it has been forever.
Yeah.
It has actually been over 10 years.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. So why are we back, Steve, after such a long time?
Because times have changed, and we're just trying to find happiness, essentially.
What? And I'm going to correct you on that because I think we find our own happiness.
Absolutely. You're right about that.
Yes. We are searching to find someone to share our happiness with.
That is a whole lot better than what I said.
So, why are we here and why are we talking at you folks out into the ethernets? And if you don't know what an ethernet is, I apologize. I'm showing my age.
I don't think anybody uses the wired anymore. I think it's all.
I know. I'm showing my age. Next, you're gonna hear me saying me.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, because I'm that old.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
All right. I digress. So who the hell are we and why are we here? Well, I guess the best way to start is, since we're talking dating, is to start with our dating stats.
Yeah.
You know, what does everybody want to know? It's almost like we have a resume, a dating resume. So
you could say that. You could definitely say that.
Yeah, right?
We've been all over the place. We're like, yeah,
we have this nice little dating resume. You know, a single white female. I'm 44, soon to be 45. No children. Married once for 5.5 years. Been divorced for about a year. Not on paper, but in life. That's a whole nother story.
Fair.
And I love animals, but I have no pets currently. So that's my dating resume. What is your dating resume, Steve?
I was just about to say, it sounds like you're putting together a little profile. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm Steve. I am an Ecuadorian single male, currently living in Tampa, Florida. Originally from New York. I am 40 years old. I'm loving it so far. I am a father of 3. And just having fun. Recording, podcasting. I do podcasts on top of this stuff. No, obviously on top of this one, but I have 2 other podcasts that I do, which is my Inner City Geeks podcast, as well as Suplex City Geeks, where we talk about wrestling over there. But yeah.
Well, technically, here we could be talking about wrestling too. It's just a different type of wrestling.
Of course, yeah. It's the hopefully not getting injured type of wrestling.
Yes, I like that.
Yeah.
So, how long have you been single, Steve?
How long have I been? I'm gonna say 4 years.
Okay.
For me.
Yes. Hey, nothing wrong with that, right? We all have our.
I also forgot to mention that I was married before, but like decades ago. The reason I didn't say it because it was like literally in the early 2000s.
I had honestly forgotten about that.
Yeah.
Wow. You were a married man.
Yeah, a long time ago. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Far away. So now you guys kind of get the tip of who we are and why we're here. You know, I've been single for about a year. Steve just shared with us that he's been pretty much single for about 4 years now.
Yep.
And in the scheme of things right now, in the 2023 that we're in, online dating is pretty much all you got. If you are lucky enough to be able to be in clubs, as far as like book clubs and whatnot, not the, electro music or whatever those kids are dancing to these days.
It's still a thing. It's still a thing. As the kids would say, it's still a vibe.
Oh, vibe. Oh, wow. That's what they're using now.
Yeah.
God, I sound so stinking old. Anyways, yeah. So we're trying to figure all this craziness out
Mhm.
of online dating and what people are looking for
Yeah.
and what we're looking for. It's been an insane last year for me. I've never really been single. I've jumped from one long term relationship into another one and honestly have never dated. So this is my first time ever, 44 years old, and I'm entering the dating world. And let me tell you, it is nothing like the Hallmark movies
Of
that
course.
I've watched.
Yeah. No, I highly doubt it is, because those are essentially what you could think of it's all a fairy tale.
What? No. I am still waiting for my millionaire lumberjack
That's fair.
to
That's
to
fair.
come and save me. No, well, actually, technically, I would save him because he doesn't know that he needs me in his life. But
Yeah.
once we have a strange turn of events and he realizes that he needs me, then he'll come to me, and then I don't know if I'll be available. So
That's
we have
fair.
to wait a little bit and then I come back to him. But we all know how the story goes.
Yeah.
So
Great story. I like it.
yeah, that's the key. It's a story.
Yeah.
So what we want to do here, being our
One thing I
main
didn't mention either is like
yeah.
I date my ex-wife. I actually met her on MySpace. So I've been doing the online dating since the early 2000s.
Oh wow. Okay, we'll give you guys about 2 minutes to Google that. It's
Yeah.
MYSPACE.
Yep.
It was
Yep.
really
Yep.
cool. You get to pick like your music. So when your page popped
Yeah.
up, you'd
Yep.
have
You
music
get your top
playing.
5. You get the top 5 friends or whatever they have
Yes.
there.
Yes.
Yeah, it
Yes.
was cool. It was a cool little place back in the days.
It was. It was all the cool kids hung out there.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh gosh, memory lane.
I'm sorry. It's just all over the place right now. But we're
It
good. We're
is.
good.
It
Yeah.
is. It's the
That's
first
why we're here.
episode. No one
Exactly.
listened to the first episode.
You never know. You never know. We may get like the most first episodes ever.
Oh my gosh, that'd be amazing.
It would be quite amusing.
Or maybe not. But
You never know. Like I said, you never know.
you never know.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
one thing that I have learned over this last year is that if I'm going to stay sane while I'm trying to date, then I need to start putting some darn good boundaries in place. And for a non-judgmental person that I am, I got to get much more judgy. I just do.
No, it's completely fair because there's a lot of things that pe- people just think that they can just do whatever. And
Mhm.
just like, no, I'm sorry. You gotta slow your roll just a little bit.
And I think it's even more not judging people as much as judging them for me. I really think that's the key is saying, you know what? I think you're awesome being you, but you're not bringing to the table what I need. And I'm almost positive I'm not going to bring to the table what you need. So
Yeah.
this is not going to be the good match. And I think that's the key is that it's finding that person that you compliment and then they compliment you. So part of all of that is breaking it down and asking, what do you want? And that's a question for yourself is like, what do I want? And the science behind it, we just started we have our dating profile. We know who we are. Now we got to figure out what do we want
Yeah.
and what are we looking for? So, Steve, what are you looking for? What's your tops?
Well, my tops. Okay, let's see. Something that like yeah, it may be superficial or whatever, but I've always loved like nice eyes. So
Mm-hmm.
that's a big thing right there. Somebody also that is very family oriented, be that do have kids. Somebody that would be okay with, me having kids as well. If she has kids, that's cool with me too. I don't mind because I am good with children. So
Mm-hmm.
that's always a good way to do things. Just being open, honest, and real. That's one of
Yeah.
the biggest thing for me is just be real. Don't bullshit me. Just just be honest and real with everything. No matter what it is, whether it's good or bad, just say it. Because if you want to do something for the long term, you have to be through it all, no matter what. Good, bad, ugly, doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. So, what is a physical and a like non-physical no way absolute for you?
A physical absolute no way. I'm one of the first things that I know for sure
Mm-hmm.
is janky teeth.
Mm-hmm.
um because that's one thing that I've noticed actually. Like I was scrolling through earlier and I'm looking on there and I see people that are like around my age, like a little bit younger, maybe a little bit older, and they smile. And then I like I don't have the best teeth all around, okay? Like my teeth aren't that bad, but they're not great either. But like I see some of them and they're just like there's just something wrong there. It's just
Yeah.
all over the place. I don't know. Maybe I'm being superficial. Maybe I'm just being weird, but I was like, if you want to smile, just do one of those.
Lips together.
Yeah, let's together smile. But I could be wrong. I could be like you guys are awesome. Yeah, everybody wants to try to do something. I get it.
Mhm.
But I don't know, maybe go to the dentist a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, why do you keep up? And I think this is where we're finding some major roadblocks is in because I'm the same way. Um, when I like or dislike someone for various reasons, and I don't even know this person. I'm looking at their picture.
Yeah.
So me, quote unquote, rejecting them by saying no, it is nothing against them as a person or even their appearance. It may just be a bad photo, or it may
Mhm.
just be a bad photo for me, you know,
Yeah. Maybe nice
whatever.
for somebody else.
Yeah,
Somebody else might
it's just,
enjoy the hell out of it.
yeah, there's just a million and one reasons. So you can't take that stuff personally. And we can't apologize for things that we can't control.
Yeah.
I am not attracted to people who have a very different cultural background than I do.
Right.
I really struggle with it. I've tried dating people with different cultural backgrounds. I think they're fascinating and I can be really great friends with them. But if we don't have the same upbringing, it causes too many issues because I make way too many references back to my childhood, into things that in pop culture, and even my family traditions and stuff. It gets it's just really tough to try to explain all that. We just don't have that connection.
I can see
And you know what? Does it make me a jerk? And maybe in some people's eyes, but it's what I've found through trial and error that it just doesn't quite work for me.
that's
So,
understandable. That's understandable.
yeah.
You don't want to just constantly have to be explaining and
Mhm.
just trying to, you know, work through things. And I don't know. I get it. I get what you're saying. I'm
Yeah.
probably, explaining it all wrong and stuff, but I get what you're saying.
No, and you're fine. And it's pretty much that's part of it. The other part is that I am a very opinionated, outspoken, and big personality. And if someone is not accustomed to that, it can
Hmm.
be very much a novelty at first because it's very unique and different than what they're used to. But very
Hmm.
quickly, it becomes quite annoying because they're not used to it. And It's just, it feels wrong to them because it just feels uncomfortable. And the same goes for me. If I'm with someone who's too conservative in their, not their beliefs per se, as much as their, their dress and their presentation to the world, basically. If they're too kind of conservative, it's very difficult for me because I feel very out of place because I am kind of a big personality.
Right.
So again, it's one of those things that just doesn't quite match. So that's what brought me to, we covered who we are and we're covering what we're looking for. Yeah, what am I looking for? It has to have a good sense of humor.
Absolutely.
It just, number one, you have to have a good sense of humor, and you can be snarky, you can be sarcastic, but you can't be overly negative.
Yeah.
And that's the tough one to find because I like quirky and sarcastic, and little snarky is great because I'm the same way.
Yeah.
But the overarching feeling needs to be of positive and acceptance.
Absolutely.
I can't do that. And I struggle with identifying the difference. I'm getting much better at it, but I still struggle a bit. I saw a great bumper sticker the other day that said, "I'm not funny, I'm just honest. You just take it the wrong way."
Yeah, that's not wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that kind of underlines my marriage right there.
Fair. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I laughed. He was being honest. We didn't notice. Yeah.
That's
Yeah. 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 It's kind of interesting, isn't it?
It
But
is.
but whose fault is it? Honestly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. You
Yeah.
don't know who exactly. It could be either or. It could be
Yeah.
your fault.
Both ownership on that one.
There's no no real. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I mean,
yeah.
and and I think that's what we run into a lot of the times is that there's dual ownership on these things. But a lot of it comes down to communication, but there's definitely dual ownership there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, now this, covered all this kind of craziness. Now it brings us to the actual dating. Who we are, what we want. So we're going on the dating site and we're ready to see what's out there. And do you have a first date? Wonderful story. Or it doesn't even have to be a first connection. Let's put it that way. A first connection story.
Yes, the first connection. It was a pretty good connection. I enjoyed that connection because it was something that I was looking forward to because it was the first actual interaction with somebody that I met online somewhat recently. We met on Hinge because Hinge tends to be like my go-to. It's like one of those places like, oh yeah, I'm actually pretty good there. Because Hinge is one of those, for those that don't know, it's a place that you go on and you basically respond to prompts that are given from the person that you're checking out. And if the person responds back, then you start to click, you start to talk. That's a pretty good place to have a connection. This one person or whatever that I met, we were cool. We started talking. We exchanged numbers. And then one day I was like, yo, listen, like, having an awesome time just talking. Let's go hang out sometime. So we were like, okay, cool. We meet up down by the river walk, which is awesome. It's a great place. The Tampa River Walk it's a beautiful place. It literally it is what it is. Like you think about Riverwalk, it's the rivers right there, and you're walking on a path by the river. It's just it's a beautiful place, especially at nighttime. You have lights, you have the water, somewhat romantic, cool shit. So you go, and we went out. We were talking, and we walked pretty much like I'm gonna say 2 miles back and forth. So we walked from one side all the way over to what we call just before Curtis Hickson Park, which is a big park that they usually have concerts there. They also have like for Christmas they actually do they have an ice skating rink
Mm-hmm.
in the Tampa like December weather. You know how Tampa's usually hot, but the fact that they have an ice skating rink out there and it doesn't completely melt, it's just boggling to me. But yeah, we walked the river walk for a bit. The whole time we're just talking, having a good time, laughing, and it's one of those situations. I was just like, this could be great if we just continue the way we are right now. This whole situation can be absolutely fantastic. Like I knew she had a kid, she knew I have kids. So I was like, okay, yeah, and she was cool with it. I was cool with that. I know where she worked. She had multiple jobs, multiple like super busy jobs, which is why I wasn't like too crazy, not necessarily too crazy about it, but I wasn't too like pressuring her into doing things because I knew she was always busy.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, we'll do it whatever. We'll hang out whenever, we'll do things or whatever. But yeah, that was probably one of my favorite ones. It was fun.
Nice.
It was nice. It was very, very chill.
Well, I would say one of my first dating experiences, and it was super super nice. Someone actually I ended up seeing for a few months. Um, but one of the very first people that I went out with, in fact, I think it was even my very first date when I got separated. And we ended up meeting at one of my favorite little wine bars. And we had a very nice time. We laughed the entire time and we just had so much fun. And then we go to leave and he's like, I'm sorry I don't kiss on the first date, and gave me a big hug. Which I'm like, you know what? I wasn't sure how I felt about this. But I'm like, that's kind of a good move. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And so he messaged me. He's like, hey, I would like to see you again. And so we set up another date. But we go on this next date and we end up hanging out at a dive bar later after dinner. And he put his hand on my back and I'm like, I like this. And so we go, he walks me to my car. And by this point, I'm like, oh, yeah, I need a kiss on this guy. And he leans over and gives me the sweetest kiss possible and then helps me in my car. And that was it. And he just walks away. Literally did a kiss, mic drop, walk away. And yeah, at this point, I am completely hook, line, and sinker. I'm done for. I'm 100%
Oh yeah,
done for.
I would be
Yes.
too.
Yeah. Oh, 100% played me like a fiddle, and I loved every moment of it. So I ate it up. And so, yeah, one thing led to another, and we ended up dating for, like I said, about 3 months or so. But it was fairly early on for me and for him because he was still going through a divorce and he had way too many kids, and I've never been around kids or had kids, and we never got to that point anyways. But it was one of those things and he was the first one to introduce me to the fact that I'm kind of a handful as far as my personality.
I wouldn't say that. I don't think so.
Well, Bryan actually said,
I can actually see where you can be much for other people, but
yeah, once you're used to me,
yeah.
no.
I guess you could say that I am used to you. We've known each other for quite some time,
Mhm.
and we've had plenty of experiences. Yeah, so I get it. Yeah.
It's one of those things. Bryan, who I dated for about 13 years and is an incredibly close friend of mine, he
Yeah.
said my Yelp review would be, she's a handful, but she's worth it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm like, all right, I'll take that. And he's the one that introduced me to the idea that I'm a handful that can be considered a curiosity and unique and just and wonderful, but can also get annoying pretty quick when it's not what you're used to. And I've learned that it's not me. I can't change me.
No.
In the past, I would try to change to adapt, and it's like, you know what? I am who I am, and you're either gonna absolutely love my crazy personality or you're not. And that's not on you. It's not on me. It's not on a good fit.
That's what it is. That's all it is. It's not you at all. It's you have to either adjust, adapt, or just keep it moving.
And that was my very first lesson in dating sanity.
Okay.
Yeah, is understanding it's not you. It's not me.
Nope.
It's just not us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I would say that's our first episode. We have one in the bank.
I think so. Yeah, that's a pretty good one. It's very simple, very straight to the point. I like it. I like the way the show goes so far.
Yeah. I like it. And how in the world should we end this? Oh, I know. So we've covered a lot of ground on this episode. We've shared a lot with you. We want you to share with us.
Yeah.
So Steve is going to let you know all of our contact information.
So you guys can find Jen at Sweet Bourbon Kiss, SWTBOURBONKISS. And you guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Mr. Jackal, MISTRJACKAL.
And always remember, please stay safe and have fun.
Absolutely.
Stay safe, have fun, enjoy your life, and enjoy your journey. Yeah. That's where we close. Enjoy your journey, right?
I like it. Enjoy the journey, because there's a crazy path. So enjoy it.
It is a crazy path.
I think you should do that. It's a crazy path, but enjoy it.
Yeah. It's a crazy path, but definitely enjoy it.
Yeah. Yay. I like that.